Good afternoon, everyone. I don't think there is a worse time to talk than now. But I really have to thank you all for sticking with us. I'll try as much as possible. I spent about 45 minutes trying to redo everything about my talk so I could conclude it as quickly as possible. We convene today at a defining moment when global shifts are growing, are accelerating, driven by advances in artificial intelligence, sustainability imperatives, and social transformations. The UAE, through bold leadership, continues to set benchmarks in governance and innovation and education. Recently, with two major initiatives, one related to the Dubai National University and the other one to the new CCA platform. As we enter the era of intelligent system and interconnected industries, this summit and the summits like it become more than dialogue. They become a turning point where higher education institutions must reimagine their roles. They must reimagine and respond with the agility and lead with clarity and impact. The future of education does not rest on any one of us. It does not rest on any one of the institutions. It rests on the strength of an ecosystem, a web of collaboration among universities, vocational technical institutes, research hubs, and lifelong learning platforms, and definitely schools. To unlock collective potential, or this collective potential, we must align the institutional missions to national and global objectives. We try, but I don't think we're always successful. We need to develop shared digital and research tools. We talk about it, but we stay disconnected. We must integrate real-world applications across disciplines. Our disciplines continue to be separated. And we need to create learner-centered programs that are flexible and modular. When we talk about international integration, we really should consider it to be international. And we need to rethink what it means, especially when we're coming to the point where it doesn't matter where you are to study, it doesn't matter where you are to work, we're eventually becoming experts for help or experts for hire. The goal is for every academic institution, large or small, to thrive within a connected, purpose-driven system. As the UAE drives towards an economy rooted in technology, sustainability, and entrepreneurship, higher education institutions must rise as partners in progress. It isn't enough to have one university doing the work. It isn't enough to have a unicorn. Education must proactively contribute to preparing professionals, collaborating with local and federal institutions, collaborating with other institutions, strengthening civic identity, while preparing learners to deal with the transformation. The advent of AI, and unfortunately I would say that most universities deal with AI as a tool to use. The fact is AI is transforming learning. AI is transforming education. We could become obsolete unless we do something different. We need to strengthen the transition from school to higher education by reaching into the schools and bringing the students in. We need to start there. Impactful institutions anticipate where society is headed, and they did not just retain talent, they shape talent. Universities must move from being passive knowledge centers to becoming platforms for creative experimentation and applied research. Innovations must penetrate all levels. It is not enough to have 1 or 2 centers in the university. It must be a part of every program. How many institutions do we have where we have an innovation course or we have an entrepreneurship course, and then you go from that course to the rest of through the rest of the journey, the faculty, the classes, the programs have nothing to do with what you learn. So what do we do about innovation? We must integrate it better. Research must result in solutions, not just publications. And institutions should open doors to private, public, and non-profit partnership. Innovation must be systematic, woven into teaching, into leadership, into assessment, and into strategy, and it must start with administrators. If the administrator of a university or of a higher education institution doesn't do anything about innovation, does not practice it, does not have the right mindset, how do you expect faculty and students to live it? We'll always have unicorns. The division between education and employment is disappearing. We must integrate the universities with the industry. And I mean integrate through the definition of the programs, the definition of the courses, the teaching, the experience that they get throughout their time or their journey at the university. Most of the universities usually have the internship programs. It's a requirement, but in most cases it becomes a tick. Okay, I've done it, it's over. It should not be this way. Let's ensure students graduate with experience solving real problems alongside real professionals. Not just job ready, they should be problem and question ready. You don't learn usually from the answers. We learn from questions. With the advent of AI, we are going through a transformation. Learning is being transformed. We do not today know, and if anybody claims it, I would like to hear it from them afterwards, how people are learning and how it impacts the whole learning process. We're just trying. AI is transforming how we learn, think, and interconnect. Universities might go beyond using AI. They must integrate its ethical, societal, and educational implications. Education must be redefined as a lifelong endeavor. Institutions must serve learners across all stages, starting earlier and staying beyond 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 years. The mindset that was talked about today, it's at the center of everything we do. And that mindset, again, the student should have it, but there is no way we could impart it, we could help with it, unless administrators, faculty, everybody who is involved has the right mindset. I'll skip. To be truly future-ready, higher education institutions must evolve beyond traditional roles. They must be nimble and responsive like startups. They must socially rooted like public institutions. They must be visionary like the world's best research labs. And they must be anchored in values, empathy that put people before systems. We always think of data as a power. Power remains. Our AI is becoming the main tool. We, humans, will continue to be the power, the tool, and the basic resource. The Dubai National University and new regulatory frameworks mark a new chapter, but the work ahead locally and globally for higher education institution is collective. Every institution must act as a driver of meaningful change. Let us not wait for the future because it's already here. Thank you.